This is the story of the famous Tony Montana. Sit back and enjoy. Welcome to Movie Mix Recap. Please subscribe to enjoy more movie recaps. In 1980, during the height of the Mariel boat lift, thousands of Cuban refugees fled to Miami, escaping political unrest and economic despair. Among them was Tony Montana, a former convict with a fiery ambition and unshakable determination. He is being questioned by officials who refuse to believe he is clean. Tony found himself detained in a crowded refugee camp, alongside his best friend Manny Rivera and their companions, Angel and Shy Shy, surrounded by others desperate for a fresh start. The camp was chaotic, a place of both hope and frustration. For Tony, however, it was just another obstacle. Then, as expected, an opportunity arose to gain freedom by carrying out a dangerous favor for Miami drug lord Frank Lopez. Tony and his friends didn't hesitate. The task was to assassinate a former Cuban official who had fallen out of favor. He waited for a prison riot, and the brutal mission was executed without remorse, and the group earned their green cards, a ticket to a new life in America. Tony and his friends began their journey in America by taking menial jobs, working as dishwashers in a bustling Miami restaurant. But Tony, with his larger-than-life personality and grand ambitions, quickly grew restless. Washing dishes was not the future he envisioned. He often spoke of his dreams of wealth and power, vowing to rise above the mundane. Their break came through Omar Suarez, Frank Lopez's right-hand man, who offered them a high-stakes opportunity. They were tasked with purchasing cocaine from Colombian dealers, a dangerous job that promised lucrative rewards. The meeting, held in a grimy motel room, while his friends wait in the car. The meeting quickly turned violent. The Colombians turned on Tony and Angel, capturing and torturing Angel in a horrifying scene involving a chainsaw. Tony's resilience and quick thinking saved him as Manny and Shy Shy arrived just in time to rescue him. This act of survival and defiance caught Frank's attention. Impressed by Tony's audacity and resourcefulness, he offered him a place in his organization, setting Tony on the path to power. Family tensions and growing ambitions. As Tony began working closely with Frank, he became enmeshed in a world of wealth and excess. He was drawn to Frank's glamorous trophy wife, Elvira Hancock, whose cold demeanor and sophisticated allure captivated him. Despite her disdain for Tony, he made it clear that he aspired to have everything Frank possessed, including Elvira. Tony's personal life, however, remained complicated. A visit to his modest family home revealed the sharp contrast between his new life and his roots. He offered his mother a substantial sum of money, hoping to provide for her and his younger sister Gina. His mother, fiercely moral and wary of Tony's newfound wealth, rejected the money and condemned his lifestyle. Gina, however, accepted it, seeing her brother as a provider. Tony's protectiveness over Gina grew, as did his warnings to Manny to stay away from her, setting the stage for future tensions. Tony's ambition led him to Bolivia, where he and Omar Suarez met Alejandro Sosa, a powerful cocaine kingpin. Sosa's beautiful estate, filled with armed guards, symbolized the life Tony craved. During the negotiations, Tony boldly proposed a massive deal that caught Sosa's interest but angered Omar, who viewed the move as reckless. Sosa revealed his ruthless side by accusing Omar of being a police informant. In a display of power, Sosa had Omar executed, hanging him from a helicopter as Tony watched. The act served as both a warning and a test. Tony passed, earning Sosa's trust and securing a lucrative partnership. This marked a turning point for Tony, as he began distancing himself from Frank, whose influence and ambition paled in comparison to Sosa's. Tony's empire began to grow. He expanded his operations, sidelining Frank and establishing himself as a dominant force in the drug trade. His newfound wealth brought luxury, but also enemies. The cracks in his relationship with Frank widened when Tony survived an assassination attempt, which he suspected Frank had orchestrated. Tony confronted Frank and forced a confession, then he ordered Manny to kill him. This brutal act solidified Tony's control. Tony married Elvira, and that established his power. However, Their relationship was fraught with tension. Elvira became increasingly detached, retreating into her addiction as Tony's erratic behavior and obsession with control deepened. Their luxurious life, filled with extravagant parties and opulent mansions, led to the growing discontent and instability. A money laundering sting operation by federal agents led to Tony facing charges of tax evasion. Desperate to avoid prison, he turned to Sosa, who offered a way out, but at a price. Tony was tasked with assassinating a journalist threatening to expose Sosa's operations. The mission was carried out in New York, and it took a dark turn when Tony refused to kill the journalist upon seeing him with his family. In a moment of moral clarity, Tony killed Sosa's henchman instead, sabotaging the operation and enraging Sosa. Consumed by cocaine, he alienated those closest to him. A confrontation with Gina led to tragedy when Tony, in a fit of rage, killed Manny, only to discover he had married Gina. Devastated, Tony retreated to his heavily guarded mansion, where he prepared for an inevitable attack from Sosa. The final assault on Tony's estate was a bloodbath. Sosa's men overpowered Tony's guards and eliminated them. Despite being outnumbered, Tony fought back with ferocity, wielding a grenade launcher and taking down numerous attackers. High on cocaine and driven by rage, he stood his ground, shouting his infamous line, "Say hello to my little friend." But Tony's determination was not enough. An assassin infiltrated his office and shot him in the back. Tony's lifeless body fell into the pool below, resting beneath the globe bearing the ironic inscription, "The world is yours." Tony Montana's rise to power was as swift as his fall. His ambition and ruthlessness brought him to the top, but his greed and betrayal ensured his ultimate demise. The world he wanted was never truly his.
If you enjoyed this video, please do well to like, subscribe, and comment on what movies you want us to review for you. Also, turn on the notification bell icon so you don't miss any of our videos. Thanks, and see you in the next video.